morning, good evening, good night. Welcome to the show, what a wonderful delight. Yeah, Patsy and T-Rods better chop up on the mic. Just sit back, have a laugh, catch a vibe, and enjoy the ride. Yeah.
What is up? How you doing, man? How's the off season treating you? How's life?
Week three, 4. I don't know, man. This is my first week back in the gym. It's been fun to work out. I've been seeing, Devin in the gym, so that's been fun. Kids, my son actually just
living life,
baseball.
Huh? Yeah, how's that? How is that watching that? I mean, I have a daughter. It's cool to watch her.
Yeah.
Play sports.
So let me tell you. So my son and Drew Gooden's son are on the same team, right?
Drew Gooden, ex-NBA player.
Ex-NBA player, yeah. Played the Cavs, whole bunch of teams. So our team is called the Yankees. We're really good.
Everybody hates you probably. Yeah.
Absolutely. We only lost one game, and that's due to a massive – it was like a super long rain delay. I mean, it was raining it looked like it was hailing. And they made the kids play in that. So, of course, the mud was making the pitching machine slide, and pitches are horrible, and there's maybe only 2 hits, and they had 2 of them, so we didn't have any. But anyway, kids are really good. My son had the championship thing today, but yeah, we've had for sure some mom Karens take over the field this season. Like, we had one game where we're beating this team by like 4 or 5 points. The mom on the other team starts yapping. She starts saying like, "Hey, is that bat regulated? I don't think that's a regulated bat.
It's corked."
Yeah, so she keeps saying stuff like, "Oh," and she also complained about the strike calls and the ball calls, and she's just tripping. Like, other parents are like, "Okay, this is getting too much. Like, we're not even really tripping. Like, these are 7, 8-year-old kids. Like, let them play."
Were you gonna try to say something to her?
No, I wasn't there actually. It was actually when I was gonna say Bart. So,
okay.
Drew Gooden's son is up to plate, hits the ball into like the outfield, right? Kids are running around the base. That mom storms onto the field.
No, you can't do that.
She storms onto the field, picks up the bat.
No,
turns towards towards the fans, towards the parents, and said, "This is not a regulated bat. This is not a USA bat. This is not approved. This is not approved. My friend is the
head of Louisville Suckers.
Yeah, is the head of Little League or whatever. The manager. I'm gonna go get him right now." And we're just like, "Go do that. Go do that." So she ends up taking like 3 or 4 bats from our players. We can't use them.
What the heck is wrong with people?
The game gets close. I remember it was like, because the first 2 innings are kid pitch. The last 3 innings are machine pitch. It got really close in that last inning, and our kids with legal bats go out there and start cracking these balls all over the place. That mom gets real quiet. She brought all these people from Little League to come over and check everything, and there was like a whole big delay, but we still won. We still went to the championship. We still got that dub. We're still the Yankees. Rah, 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 whatever you want to put it. Yeah, that mom was a for real Karen, and it was upsetting.
It's ridiculous.
These are 7-year-old kids. Like, they're not out there intentionally trying to be like, "Oh, I got this corked bat." Like, I'm about to, like, they're kids, bro. Just don't be mad when your kids aren't winning.
I mean, why are you worried about that so much at this age?
I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
And even when kids get to that age, they should be at the age where they're old enough to deal with their own. Be upset about it. Because it's like, even in high school, you're like,
I'm just a dad trying to pick up a bat on my way from work, so my son has a new bat to go play.
Blame Dick's Sporting Goods. Don't blame
me.
Don't.
Yeah, I'm not. Do you think I'm over here saying, "Hey, is this a USA approved bat, or is this can I get the cork bat?" Like, no, come on, shorty. My son he's swinging as hard as he can, and it's not.
It's bad. It's bad. Kids' sports can get ruined in that way. I mean,
absolutely. It's the parents.
Bro.
Control the whole narrative. Like, the kids just want to be out there. The parents are the one that make everything go crazy.
Yeah, my daughter, she plays in a basketball league, and it's like, I mean, they're in 2nd grade, so they're just playing. But there's one team where it's like they're running screens, plays, and I get that's all good. Like, and the kids are really advanced, but like sometimes I'm watching the coach, the dad, and I'm just like, you're a little over the top right now.
Come on, buddy.
Man. It's 2nd grade. Like, I get it.
Break, okay?
But you don't want to, there's a fine line of pushing it too far and being, obviously not caring.
But there's always going to be those parents, though.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't want to be that parent.
I don't want to be that at all
until I have to. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like my son is good at basketball. He's good at sports.
Yeah.
And he enjoys playing them. But like, I try not to like coach
Push
him
it on him because
that is just they
100%
don't want to
with you
hear
on
that
that.
right now. Yeah. So like, and I can see it. Like when I say something to him, sometimes he's just like, oh, like what now? Like, so I'm like, you know what? Go struggle on your own.
I remember
when you're ready to come and get this work, and you're 14, 15, 16, you're ready to start putting in the time, then like I will be there to help. But like right now, I'm not trying to crack the whip.
Well, exactly. I had a coach tell me one time, it's like, or our team one time, like, we're on this ship for a long time, man. The ship starts to get real small. Yeah. And you're with your kid forever. It's exactly true, though. It's like you're going to be with your kid for whatever, 18 years. When they're ready, like that's why I say with Harper, I'm like, when she's ready to start getting, like, wants to actually put work in time, like, then I'm going to be here to do that.
But I do not want to bring extra work home. Like, it's just too much on both, bro. It just, like, I didn't like that with my mom. Like, my mom, I used to remember my mom. Like, my mom, I think she used to try to coach me from the bench. I was like in 9th grade. I had to like turn to the bench one time at a free throw and be like, I got this, like, relax. And then after that, she probably felt the way, but like I wasn't finna let her just talk to me crazy.
Oh yeah, me and my dad definitely, like, having my dad coach me, and a lot of parents like, oh, don't you want to coach your daughter's team? I'm like, me and my dad went through my own battles of like coaching. Where I was just a straight dickhead to my dad. Where I'm like,
I remember your dad like vaguely as a 7th grader,
6th grader, yeah, 7th, yeah.
But I remember him being intense. I remember that.
Well,
dude
he
being
was.
I mean, it's
a big guy.
Little kids. He was a big guy. And when we were coaching, I remember like he didn't coach us to be like da, 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 but when the game started,
he's intense.
The ref wasn't on his on that whistle.
Exactly.
And we weren't playing. Like I remember him sometimes just being like,
he gets mad at refs.
Like I was just like, oh my god, like so
he definitely cool. He wasn't like, my dad was someone that obviously he made me the athlete I am. He taught me a lot of things, especially all different types of sports.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like something where he was like at home. Like I had friends that like their parents were like whipping them to like go do these sports, and then they end up quitting like 3 years in. He wasn't doing that. But when the game starts and I'm not doing what I'm doing right, he would get upset. Even when he wasn't coaching me, bro. Like I could just feel it from the stands in high school where I'm like, he's mad because he's like, because he has that. It's in you. It's in you too. Like I watch my daughter. I'm like, oh gosh, that's not how I do it. Like, you know what I mean? But it's like I can't. You don't want to yell.
No, absolutely not.
I love my dad, and he helped me a lot along the way. But all right, man. Let's just finish up. We had a lot of things in like the last week. We had the crazy UFC fights.
Oh my Jesus. Let's talk about. You want to talk about that right now?
Yeah, let's talk about the UFC fights first.
I'll tell you what I'm pissed off about. Charles DuBronx Oliveira not retaining that belt. He should have that belt. You know how many times Khabib has been on the same shit?
Yeah.
And he's like missed it by a smidge or whatever, and the belt's never up for the interim title. Like come on, bro. I get it.
Did you hear the story though about it?
About what?
I don't know if this is true. I just heard this. I thought I heard that his team's scale was saying that he was fine.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
That the team's scale was actually off. And so when he went to the thing, because he thought, because a half a pound, like to them, they can lose in literally a couple hours.
No, absolutely.
And they gave him time. So that's what I heard. There was some type of story like that. I don't know the truth of it, but it's pretty crazy.
But I mean, still,
it sucks because then he goes out there and dominates it, Justin Gaethje.
Bro. And did anybody think that's how it's going to go? And like I've been a Charles DuBronx fan since before he won the belt. So I was always like, this dude he's really fun to watch. If he gets you on the ground, you're in trouble. But his stand up is also amazing. And I'm just like, I don't know why a lot of people are not respecting it. Like, and it's funny because when Michael Chandler fought Justin Gaethje, like nobody got knocked out.
Yeah,
and that's how I thought that fight was going. And Gaethje he didn't knock Michael Chandler out. Like, and I thought that's how that fight was going to go. But Oliveira that's how he finishes the fight. That's how he gets the belt. He knocks out Michael Chandler. And then that makes me think, and I'm understanding, like, why are people not respecting this man's hands? He goes out there, the first exchange between Gaethje and Oliveira. Gaethje catches the worst part of it. You can see it. He starts to stumble a little. He has a little bit of chicken leg, but he's still in the pocket. He's still throwing like, Gaethje does. And then it gets to just, he's just a better fighter overall. and just all around, bro. Like he throws knees. Like Gaethje's just starting to get those kicks, but like he's throwing knees, he's throwing kicks. He can do all types of stuff, and then he just threw it straight right down the middle and it planted Gaethje, bro. And then it was on the ground. It was over.
It's crazy because Charles, like, he always uses, like, he got hit twice really good. But he uses that when he falls on his back as, like, it's such a good defense mechanism because it's like you're not coming down.
He got hit, but it wasn't like like he got hit. I don't think he was ever dazed. He caught an exchange where like an elbow hit him and he started to bleed, but I don't think that was due to like Gaethje throwing it left or right. And he got hit. Don't get me wrong. And when he does that, he just goes down because that's
they're not going to come down. Come down there. Come down here, please.
Exactly. He's trying to get you into that quicksand, and you're and Gaethje's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then you can see the second time he got hit, and he wasn't really hurt, but he went down still, thinking Gaethje might have bit on it. Doesn't. Gets Gaethje on the ground. It's over. But I'll tell you this: I was also just 30 minutes before that fight, also extremely, extremely upset because Thug Rose. I have never seen anything like that in my life. I've never seen 2 rounds in any combat sport called 10-10. That's like
it was bad.
That's like bad. That's like an NBA team not scoring. Both NBA teams not scoring for the entire first and second quarter.
Yeah.
There was nothing. It was just they were just shadow boxing.
For people that don't know, so the main event was Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje. The co-main event was Rose versus I can't think of her name right now.
Exactly. It doesn't matter who she fought.
So Rose is the defending champ. She goes out there. The girl she's fighting, Espen. Well, I can't even.
I don't know, but she beat.
She's a wrestler.
Thug Rose back in.
So she's a wrestler. Thug Rose can kind of do it all. Rose went out there with just dancing around. Like it was the biggest dance round I've ever seen, and it was the most boring fight, waste of time. And she ended up losing when she thought she was winning. Yeah, she was not aggressive at all.
At all. I didn't understand why she wasn't aggressive.
I don't either.
Like, did you respect her wrestling that much?
You can listen to her corner. The corner was like, "This is what we want. This is what we want." You're like, "No."
Oh, okay. So somebody in her camp sold. Got it. That's cool.
And then the other fight was obviously the best front kick of all time, maybe. Michael Chandler versus Ferguson, just straight to his jaw.
Bro,
that slow-mo pick is
oh my god.
And I don't like know why. NFT.
Bro.
It's like a bored ape.
Tony Ferguson
is a monster too.
He's old. No, but he's older, bro. Like, and he's been, and I don't mean like he might be 2 years older than Michael Chandler, but he's been doing this at this level for way longer. Like, if you're a UFC fighter and you were fighting in the era where you had to get your own promotions and put them on your trunks, a lot of time has passed. I mean, a lot of time has passed because they went through Reebok and then they went through Venom. So like, in the 10 years that have gone by, like the game has gone, it's crazy. And like, so what, Tony is 38?
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely older fighters, but like for the way Tony fights, he's all quickness and flash and just like, dodge, like if you don't,
he's got heavy hands. He hit Chandler pretty hard.
He got Chandler pretty hard, but bro, I don't know.
Chandler's a psycho though. Once Chandler gets hit, he just goes into like, it's either really good or really bad. It's either really good or really bad.
It's not a great way to do this sport because you block with your face all the time.
It's just
bro, it's bad. But that front kick was arguably one of the best front kicks I've ever seen, and I thought he killed him. I thought Tony Ferguson was dead.
He was out for a minute. He was out for like 2 minutes. That's insane. You don't see
bro,
that.
I thought he was dead. He was dead. Like he kicked, bro, and it was the worst type of kick because it was the palm of his foot right under his chin, and if you could. The closest I've ever seen to somebody getting their actual head kicked off of their body. Unreal. It was disgusting. But yeah, great fight.
Well, let's get into this interview with Devin Cannady, your teammate at the Magic. It's really it's a fun interview, man. He's a really interesting guy. You definitely got to check him out, and let's get into it. Today's episode is presented by our favorite sponsor. You need to be hydrated. You know where to go. That's A-Game. Whether you're at home, at work, in the gym, in the classroom, success means giving nothing less than your best. Your peak performance, your A-Game. And now there's a beverage designed to help you bring your best when you need it the most. Terrence, you need it the most. You're sweating, you're running, you're jumping, you get dehydrated. You need it. A-Game is full of essential vitamins and nutrients to keep your body primed for action. It provides hydration to boost recovery after you've given your all. Bring your A-Game, bring your best. Tell the world, bring it on. Shout out A-Game. Everybody go check them out at drinkingagame.com. All right, let's welcome to our show Orlando Magic guard, NBA G League champion, NBA G League Finals MVP, and host of Run Your Own Race podcast, Devin Cannady. Welcome to the show, man.
Appreciate you guys for having me.
Yes, sir, my guy.
Appreciate
Long
you,
time
man.
coming. We've been talking about this for a while. I think since you even heard I had a podcast maybe like a year ago, you were like, yo, we got to get on the podcast. And I was like, yeah, for sure. And somehow we always just miss each other. But now today it's finally happened. We can mark it down.
Exactly. That was last training camp. I was like, bro.
Yeah. Trust me.
Say the word. It's like
don't. And today we took our time. We made a whole list of stuff we want to get to. So I was just like, yeah, no, it has to happen.
That's perfect.
Yeah, man. How so let's just start right off the bat with your NBA career coming from Princeton. I mean, it's very intriguing.
Fun fact, bro. Today, because we were at the gym, I didn't even know he went to Princeton. I was like, he said that? No, who said that? Was it Becky?
It was Becky.
Becky mentioned something about Princeton, and I was like, wait. I was like, no, you went to Princeton? I don't know for sure. I don't know where I thought you might have went before that, but I don't know. I did not expect Princeton for that reason.
That's so wild. No, that's why I asked.
That's why. Like,
where did you think I went? Like, I wish I would have known that prior. So I
would have said Wisconsin, Northwestern. I don't know, some school. I don't know. I can envision you in just a handful of schools. I don't know.
Well, you're from Indiana, right? And you had other offers, as was what I was reading. So what ended up at Princeton, and how that even all come about?
Yeah, I mean, I was never highly recruited, highly rated. That whole situation. So for me, it was a lot of the mid American Conference schools, the MAC schools, Toledo, Akron, Ohio. And for me, I'm the oldest of 4 siblings, first in my family to even go to college. So I expected to stay close to home. I'm from South Bend, right in Notre Dame's backyard. So my whole life going to Notre Dame basketball, football games, camps, I wanted to be part of the Fighting Irish and all that, but never got an offer. And so it came down to during my senior year, when Princeton and like Cornell came calling. I've always been, I think, curious, open-minded, and always have been up for challenges. So once I kind of knew what that Ivy League route looked like, I mean, I really heavily considered it. So took my official visit, seeing campus, just seeing history of what people did outside of basketball once they left. I was like, man, like I'm going to pour everything I have into basketball. Like they may think I'm crazy, thinking I can get to the NBA, being one of like the only people in Princeton history to do so. But I knew that going in, and was like, I mean, worst case scenario, I end up this whole thing with an Ivy League degree. So that was kind of how I played the system.
That's dope,
did you go on a visit to Cornell?
I didn't. I literally visited Princeton, and 4 days later was like, all right, this is what we're doing.
I was gonna say, because that was one of my first, actually one of the first schools that look at me until they saw my transcripts, and yeah, that was out the way. But yeah, talk a little bit about Princeton. I mean, were you always a high academic person? Was like how was that whole experience? Like, because we're the furthest.
Princeton.
Me and Terrence are like the furthest
so far from that. Oh my God.
Princeton. So it's like, what is it like there?
Yeah, I think there's a stigma first and foremost on what an Ivy League basketball player, Ivy League student looks like. But in this case, I think, once I made that decision, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what the stock market was, let alone Wall Street. I didn't know what was going on in politics at the time. I'm from a small town in Indiana. And for me, it was basketball, football, and I mean, the community I come from wasn't necessarily highly educated. I think a lot of them went to the same high schools, their family, and that was kind of how my family upbringing was. Everyone went to Mishawaka High School. But my family, I think to your question about was I always highly academic, we chose for me to go to a private school. It was like the first big decision that I think started kind of this snowball effect of education being one of the top priorities alongside athletics. So yeah, once that was kind of my MO, was school first. I mean, as well as basketball, Princeton made a lot of sense for me. So yeah, that's kind of what went into that decision. But overall, like they're not stressing basketball the way Washington would, let alone
no, absolutely not,
Ohio or Akron, right?
Yeah,
so when I got there, I was shook. Like, do these guys care about basketball the way I care about it? And that's kind of what my basketball journey looked like at Princeton. Unfortunately, where there was a lot of lonely mornings and nights with me in the gym. You know what I'm saying?
So what were the games like? Like, what were the fans like? You guys, I know you guys had a student section. Like, when it comes to basketball, I know somebody's showing up.
I think there's like one game on the schedule a year where we'd have students come down. But the crazy thing is, no, I mean, I had a bigger fan base in high school in Indiana, especially.
Wow.
Our gym in Indiana, I think, held 1,800, and it would sell out every Friday, Saturday games. Princeton, there would be games where 500 people, 600 people would show up, and they're not ruckus, you know. It's the Princeton community coming out and just kind of watching
observing. Yeah, it's like watching the game. It's like, this is interesting.
It's like a Broadway show.
So that was literally my career for 4 years, and towards my senior year is when it was the first time, I think, in 25 years that the stadium sold out against our rival Penn.
Oh wow!
That was a dope feeling, and I wish that was the experience the whole time. But everyone was so focused on school. The students would come down during cold weather, all the way down campus to come to the gym to see the basketball team. So, I mean, that was a cool experience, because now being in NBA arenas, and
you probably appreciate it like that much more.
100%.
Because that's how I was.
100%.
Last question about Princeton. What's the party life like? I like to have a nice cold one. Was it? I mean, you say that these guys are all they're worried about studies, academics. Was there any social life?
Yes, there was.
So sororities and fraternities, I'm guessing, are pretty big there.
No, there are no.
Oh, there is.
Wow.
There's Greek life, but it's like
not
hush and like
it's not what you think.
In the shadows, like there's not like Greek houses or frat houses.
There's no Sigma Chi, toga party. Okay.
No, but we do have our own toga parties.
Yes.
There's a street at Princeton. It's called Prospect Avenue, and it's basically 11 or 12 mansions just on this one street. They're owned by the university, and each one is technically called an eating club. And so when you're a junior and a senior, you basically go from being in the dining halls to kind of rushing these eating clubs.
Oh my God.
There's a week literally during like conference play where all athletes, students try and become a part of these selective groups of houses. It's kind of like some Hogwarts type stuff. Like that was my first take. And so all the basketball guys are in this place called Cannon. T, as you know me, I'm a little different. We talk about run your own race. So I was like, I'm not going to do Cannon. So I joined a different one called Cottage, which was kind of like this very preppy, bougie eating club. But every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, these eating clubs are packed at night with parties.
Oh, nice.
Beer on tap. So it's
okay. So no, y'all still getting that. It's still college. So y'all still getting down. Like it's still the first time people are on their own. So,
I mean, it's young kids. Sure. It's young. It's you're young adults.
No, because I know Spicy, your experience. He went to Idaho, so like
right next to Washington State.
Right next to Washington State.
Straight
like that's not like they're state schools. Like literally nothing else to do except like get hammered. It's super cold out there.
Yeah.
The land is super flat. There is nothing else but
students.
Those two little towns. So like it's just, and then I'm coming from Washington, and Washington is not like Washington had parties, and like we had Greek life, but it wasn't like over the top. Like we had a couple blocks with some frats and whatnot, but like it wasn't like
you're in the city though. You're in the city.
Yeah, we're like
Seattle,
right in the city. So
like,
I did more like majority of the stuff I did was because I wasn't even old enough to go out. Was I went to let outs with some of my teammates. I would just drive around at 2:00 in the morning and just wait for fucking people to get out and go socialize. But
that's hilarious.
I mean, I still wasn't. I felt like I kind of missed on that college experience of just like living college life. But I mean, the basketball was pretty good. I will say that basketball was decent, but it still wasn't like how it is in the NBA. Like the NBA has such a different feel that it's just unique to its own right. But yeah, I was. Coming from college to the NBA, I was not shell-shocked. And I wasn't like not saying I wasn't ready for it, but it was just a different vibe. It was a different vibe. But I can't imagine the different vibe from Princeton to the NBA.
It's night and day.
Night and day. It gotta be.
Well, it was a super dope experience. I mean, everything I'd say, just from the people you meet to the experience you have in the summers. studied abroad in Tanzania after my freshman year.
Wow.
I did internships and like financed the next 2-3 summers. So it was a dope, like I grew as a human, as a person. And basketball, I stayed 10 toes down. I mean, I kept my, my goals written down. I mean, through the ups and downs and the 400 fans and being by myself in the gym, I kept that same confidence and was like, I can make it out of here, which I obviously did, but it's definitely taken a unique path. So, I definitely hold my, I stand tall on that. And it's like, I did something very rare, not just for my family, but in general.
So when did you, moving on towards the NBA, when did you start to get the realization that the NBA was like a really strong possibility? Like you talk about, you're doing internships, you're at Princeton, but you're still obviously focused on your goal of playing professional basketball. When did that like really come to life? Like when were you like, okay, this is a real possibility?
I think so. I talked about wanting to go to Notre Dame my whole life. And my sophomore year, we win 19 straight games. We go to the NCAA tournament. And of course, it's a 12-5 matchup against who?
Of course.
We're matched up with Notre Dame. And like, I was in my head so much like, this is my game. Like, Steph Curry made his run in the dance. Like, I know I can shoot the ball. Like, it's against Notre Dame. Let me knock this team out. Show them what they missed. I was like 3 for 11. I had the game-winning shot. We're down 2.
Oh, wow.
No, like 5 seconds, 4 seconds. I get the ball, left wing. I shoot it, and it looks so good. And I missed. Game over. That was like my defining moment. And like that summer, I went out to LA. I ended up playing in like the Rico Hines runs we talked about. So got a lot of NBA bump and like was just real focused on my body. I was like, I may not make it to the NBA. I mean, I really was down on myself. Like that was my shot. It didn't go in. I could easily kind of give up, but I really doubled down, tripled down. And the next 2 years, basically at Princeton, I was like, not many people can stop me. The people that can stop me, I feel like, are on the floor with me and in the locker room with me because I'm not able to really show everything that I can do. So I was shooting the ball at a really, really high clip. And I was like, this is what's going to get me in. I'm putting all my chips on my shooting. And I think once I left Princeton and kind of went through that process, I started to realize like I have a real chance. And I told my agent, forget overseas. I'm going to grind it out to the G League. I think that's my best path. So yeah, I mean, I'm very proud of myself for just that belief since missing that shot, and then through all the ups and downs since.
Yeah, man, that's amazing. I mean, I had a chance at a little bit in the G League, and it's definitely a grind. Like where, look at Tristan, bedtime for Tristan, huh? But so yeah, obviously, a lot of people know your story with you've battled injuries. You're in the G League. You win the title, you win the MVP, and then you kind of had to reset again. What was that journey like?
Well, that journey took me to Seattle first and foremost. So, good thing I wasn't able to walk around too much because the company that was walking the streets wasn't too friendly. It was very unique. So, T. Ross talks about being out in the streets late at night. That's a different scene up there.
No, in Seattle, yeah, for sure, bro. Especially now, yeah. The last few years have been rough, but
But yeah, I mean, I get injured. I mean, I'm coming off what I felt like was the game that was like, you talk about there's moments, right, as an athlete where you're like, I can do this, and in the summer before winning the championship, I was training with KD and Kyrie out in LA, and we're getting good bump in 1s, 2s, 3s, and it's like, there's no reason why I can't do this. It's not just going to be handed to you on a platter. Like opportunity is hard to come by in this league, but I'm just like, I've been through much worse odds. Like I'm going to continue to grind. So obviously all that happened. I felt like that game against the Pelicans where I scored 17 was just like the game. Like I can do this. I can play a role. And again, I can shoot the ball at a very high level. Teams need that. So the fact that the very next game, like I was confident that through the rest of the season, something was going to stick. Obviously, get injured. Disgusting injury. I saw your reaction. Everyone. I'm sure. At that moment, we're just like, damn.
Bro, I was absolutely And you know what's so wild to me too? Like, it's such a weird thing. The night before that happened, Potsy, remember the UFC fight with Chris Weidman?
Oh yes.
And he snapped his leg, bro.
Oh,
I'm
gosh,
literally showing this man that video 30 minutes before. 30 minutes before he's out there. I remember you got a Dunkin' warm up. We were all going crazy, like feeling great, bro. And I'll even take it back, like that training camp we had. It was you, Jordan Bone. Who was it? Like what's the other big man? Yeah, Reem. And I think we had somebody else. It might have been like Frank, but I can't remember. But yeah, Frank Rom. Yeah, so out of everybody, bro, you bought out more than anybody. So when they told us that we were going with Jordan Bone, I was absolutely jaw dropped and like just baffled because like, you know, remember the little chips that they put it on us, like, and they measured like how in shape we were and everything, bro. I checked that stuff because I love to see how I'm doing, but like Jordan Bone was completely out of shape. He was horrible in the training camp. He was missing shots. You were making plays, understanding the system, understanding what we needed to do, shooting the ball really well. And I was so mad for you. So when I saw you come back, bro, I was like, finally, because we'd had point guard problems that whole season, bro. Everybody was getting hurt, and I'm just like, there's no need. And then you had just won the MVP and the Finals MVP. So I was just like, yeah, this is like the stars aligning. So like that setback was like one of the biggest heartbreaks I've seen in like my whole career. But it's all better now because my guy's back here with us and he's here playing. So I'm excited for this next season because, man, you and this other thing too, you actually been here for a while. Like you've been here through a lot of changes. So you've seen a lot of guys hurt. Like you've seen a lot of guys struggle through injuries like Markel, J.I., yourself. And now we finally get to have a season coming up where all of us are going to be back in training camp having fun again. So it's going to be a big season. I know it's going to be fun for everybody. It's going to be a completely different feel, I hope. And just like even how we've been, practicing in the summertime, everybody's in the gym. Like everybody's here. Like, and I've been here for 6 years now. This is my 6th summer here. This is probably the first time I've ever seen more than like 3 people in the gym. And it's usually just me. It was me, J.I., and Markel because those 2 are hurt. And this is where I just live and work out. But now everybody's here. It's going to make it for some exciting summer ball. But like I'm older, so I can just kind of see all the makings of things. Like this could be the beginning of like a different chapter in where this franchise starts to go. Because now everybody's going to have a camaraderie and everybody's going to be familiar with everybody. And it's not just like some older vets showing up trying to get in shape. Like, this is how, like, when I was younger in Toronto, this is how we got better. We all spent summers together. We worked out, and it was just little stuff. It's not even like necessarily, we're drilling, going hard every day, but it's being around each other, just building the fundamentals of just understanding what it's going to take. So I'm excited to be out there. I'm excited to see it up close. I can't believe I stuck around. Like, and it's crazy. It's just more and more people are leaving every single year. So for me, I finally have a reason like to be excited going to this season. So it's gonna be good, bro.
That's dope.
It's going to be a great comeback story. I can't wait.
I appreciate those words because it means a lot too. There's like little nuances that I pick up on, and I feel like, I played 2 NBA seasons and my whole career essentially in the NBA has been with the Magic. Like a lot of guys and the top tier G League guys, they're getting 10 days with this team and that team. And like for me to just have been consistently part of this organization in one way or another. Do I believe I should have been signed at the beginning of last training camp? 100%.
Yes.
But that added more fuel to my already very lit fire in the bubble. And I think it's just a unique story. And it's honestly so on brand with me. It's like, you go down there, you should be on the Magic. So let's just win a championship. MVP. So it's dope. I kind of joke like I've been a part-time worker for the NBA organization. Like, oh, you need me for 6 games this season? Okay, cool. Like, but no, I'm excited for next year. And I think getting back to what my process was like getting here, I get injured. My girlfriend at the time, Katie Lou Samuelson, is over in Spain. She's staying up to watch my game. She's obviously excited and coming off a really good game. And so like literally 2 possessions up and down the floor, I go up for a block I should have just let go. And I hear a noise. Like it was like I literally heard like a fat stalk of celery just break in half. like that was the exact noise I heard, and I was like, what just happened? Did the dude I try and block is he okay? Like, because obviously I'm not about to get hurt. I'm not getting hurt.
Yeah, for sure. No.
And then when I'm down there, I'm like, something's like I'm not getting up, and like I just yelled out, like I'm screaming, "Fuck!" Like, oh shit, oh shit. And I didn't even mean to. So I'm like, oh, that noise was me. And I did not look down. I remember putting my head on the ground.
Yeah.
I didn't even see Mo come and put his jersey on me. I just look up and he has
moment.
his jersey off. I'm like, oh, dude, this cannot be good. And I think I handled it really, really well.
You did. Bro, amazing. I would have passed out. I've been screaming the whole time. I would have passed out.
Is that the worst injury you've seen live, Terrence?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I've seen this type of injury a few times, but not. But that one was that was rough. Like that made like that. We were sick, bro. Like we were like, fuck the game, bro. Let's just get out of here. Like that was real tough, bro.
But in that moment, in that moment, a lot of things were rushing through my mind. Like, dude, are we done? Like, did my NBA career come and go like that? But instead of like cursing out God or, I thanked him because every game before, when everyone's lined up for the anthem and I pray, like, use me how you see fit. Let me be a light to the world, and God willing, there's no one gets injured. And so in that moment, I kind of put two and two together. Like, you're about to use me in a way that I can't even comprehend. And thank God no one else got this injury. Like, you gave this to me because I can handle it. So that was the first thing that ran through my mind. The second thing was, don't start yelling and screaming. Breathe, like, because your girlfriend is in her room in Spain.
By herself.
1:30, 2 in the morning. She's watching your game. And
be cool.
So you can scream, which I did in the ambulance in the back. But at that moment, like, when I thought of her, like in the first 3 seconds, I was like,
that calmed you.
I think I really love this girl too. So
wow.
That's like the segue. That's the segue into.
Wow, that's how you know.
That is true though. If that's something you're thinking about, like,
immediately,
that makes it real, because it's like, I know I've had some injuries and the girl's not the first thing I thought about.
Yeah.
For second, for third.
Yeah. I spent the whole offseason, exactly. Spent the whole offseason basically rehabbing, learning to walk, learning to jog, like working on my ankle in Seattle while she was playing her season with the Seattle Storm. So I got treatment that Breanna Stewart, was getting, Sue Bird, using some of their trainers, and super dope experience. And like, to be there supporting her and her WNBA season, basically like a newborn baby. I felt like she was taking care of me in a sense, but like I was just like getting back to just the basic essentials of like not even being an athlete, but just like walking and doing the most mundane.
Sure.
So it was a super special summer from my relationship perspective, but also like I knew that I wanted what I just had so bad, and I was like, whatever it takes to get back. So obviously, Magic brought me back to camp, knowing I was going to be a few more months along in my rehab. Went back to the G League, and my mindset was the same. Like, show what got you there the first time, but do it even better. Like, and I ended up in the G League, I think, in 3-point percentage. Like, I was just on a mission. I was like, I'm coming back for what's mine. I know I belong, and get through the season healthy into an off season. Next year's gonna be scary, and so that's where we're at now.
It's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah. Let's move on to your podcast, Run Your Own Race. How did this start? And how long have you been doing it?
I mean, I've been doing it less than I've been talking with you guys on this podcast. Like, it's been a thought. I have everything written down, planned out. My manager and he's gonna be my co-host. And so at this point, I'm going to try and launch before the season. I'm trying to get a few interviews done.
I'll come on, bro. Yeah, I'll come down for sure.
All right, I'm going to mark you down.
Mark down.
A few interviews like out at Summer League. Hopefully have something established and set up. I don't care about the quality being extremely great. I just want it to be good,
Trust us, ours
Content.
was rough. Ours was rough at the start.
No, facts. That's how it goes.
We talked. I remember, we'll never forget when we started it.
Oh my God.
Our first time we talked, we tried doing it.
It sounded like
so rough.
It kind of sounded like we didn't even know each other for real. Like it was bad. Like it was just pauses. Like it was like we had never met before. It was wild. But that's the one thing. Just
continue to do it.
Yeah, just continue to do it, bro. It's like grind. Like it's not. It gets better and it's going to progress the more you do it. It's not like you're going to find the right cure, like the right mixture right off the bat. Like this is one of those things where even us, like we change stuff all the time. Like we think about how we're going to mix it up or do. But it's so challenging. But it's fun, bro. Because after you do it, do it for a long period of time, you look up, you have 50 episodes knocked out, and you're just kind of in a rhythm of it. You have a routine, so now it makes it easier. So definitely, it's gonna. But don't forget, it's gonna get rough sometimes because there's definitely days where just like, bro, not today, bro. Just do it every other time. Like it's too late. But no, we got a good team. But that's another important part is having a good team. But as long as you have good content, bro, you're gonna skyrocket.
No, that's awesome.
What do you want to focus on with your podcast?
My biggest thing is telling, sharing, getting kind of the behind the scenes of people in different industries and their stories, their journeys. I mean, I think I've talked and touched based on a little bit of my unique path, but there's so much more, that's below the surface. And, how do you get to Princeton? Really, what are some experiences at Princeton? Like, what is it like? I mean, my first year in the G League, when I was in Long Island, I was actually finishing my degree at Princeton. So I was traveling back and forth from Long Island to Princeton. I was in the front row of one class, staying in a dorm, traveling on a train at 4:35 a.m. to be at practice the next day. And actually this week on the 17th, I'm going to finally be back on campus to walk during my graduation. So
wow, congrats, bro.
That's dope, man.
Congrats.
No, dude,
long time coming.
But I'm sure both of you even have your own stories where it's like, man, there's probably kids out there that's like, I want to start a podcast and with anything else. So that's the goal is get some unique people with different perspectives, different backgrounds in different industries, sharing the story on how they're running their own race, and kind of just pay it forward for the next generation. Hopefully there's out there that wants to go to the Ivy League and wants to make it to the league and hey, I'm an example you can look to. So that's the goal.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. That's really good to hear. Yeah, man, just continue to grind, and it's gonna keep getting better. So Terrence brought up, are you into conspiracy theories?
I'm definitely into talking about conspiracy theories.
Open-minded.
Okay. So does Terrence just run this through you like he does with all his other teammates? Also that's what I wanted to ask you because I like to ask Terrence's teammates tell us about Terrence in the locker room in your perspective. And Terrence always says this. Oh my God, I want to hear from your perspective. What's Terrence like?
T. Ross, in my humble opinion, is like a cool big brother. I feel like he's into action figures. He's into things that are way on out there, but he's dope as hell at basketball. And you gotta respect that. And you gotta be man, big bro, what are you into? And maybe, what I'm saying? As a little brother, the big brother can sway you into, being into cool things. So we have dope conversations. And so the question of what kind of conspiracies am I into? I'm into having conversations. I'm into, hearing your thoughts out. Maybe I don't believe what you believe, but let's talk about it. So he's really big bro. I mean, he's number 31. I'm number 30. I feel like they call him the Human Torch. I feel like I'm the microwave. So I feel, it's really a cool dynamic. And we haven't had much time, I feel like, in the locker room because I've been in the G League or I got injured. But the times we've had some cool conversations. So that's big bro.
Has he brought any conspiracy theories to your attention?
What have we talked about? I remember you asked me about something.
I mean,
it might have been some reincarnation. I've been in the reincarnation lately, man, and alternate reality, not alternate reality, but the I don't know.
The multiverse got you thinking from Doctor Strange, huh?
Not even that. That movie was all over the place, but definitely, I don't know. I'm definitely thinking because now with all this, government releasing, UFOs and UAPs, like that is like at the forefront of like the one thing I kind of want to learn more about, because it's kind of we're on the verge of, because I feel like aliens, wherever you want to put extra life, whatever.
That's what we talk about the most.
Yes, like when that happens, it has to affect religion in some sort, in some sense. It has to contradict everything that like religion talks about at some point. And because like I feel like we're right there. Like the government saying we don't know what these are, we don't know where they're from, and I feel like everybody's just fuck it, we'll figure it out later. Like, but to me, I'm just like that. Isn't that not important? Like, is that like, are we not alone? Like, do they have the same type of religions we do? Is there a alien Jesus that they pray to? Like, do they pray to our Jesus? Like, do we not know what's going on? Like, I don't know. But that's just me. When I get into my conspiracies, that's usually in the direction I'm headed. So if we had anything, it's probably about that.
And so I'll add a Princeton twist to it.
Oh boy.
So and this is why I'm open to these conversations, and I can't be like, dude, there's no way, because I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I'm not going to be like, no, you're wrong.
Confirmation.
Yeah. Like, so I took a class my senior year, and this is when I'm like halfway out the door. So I'm not really into it. It's just like a requirement. I needed some sort of science class. And so I took astro or something crazy. And it's just like our solar system, extra life out there. And they're breaking it down to the science. Like, I was literally out here with telescopes. They're showing us all the constellations. They're like, there's a galaxy beyond that star that's X million light years away. And I'm looking at one of my teammates who's a sophomore at the time. And we're like, get the fuck out of here.
It's a lot. Yeah.
You cannot tell me that all of this precision and that this galaxy has this many stars, and you like, and then you tell me that there's no other life.
Yeah.
That's where I'm just like, if you're telling me the science of things being billions of light years away, then don't tell me we're the only thing.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, for me, life doesn't necessarily mean a gray little alien walking around. I mean, there has to be some form of, like, let's say vegetation, some type of something, molecular.
Or they've created their own. Or they created their own.
Whatever it is, I'm saying it's just the same way you're looking out to the stars, saying that like it has to be something out. I'm just like, there can't just be us here. There can't just be us here. Like, I don't care what it is. It could be a planet full of grass. It could be a planet full of dogs. It could be a planet full of whatever. It can't just be us out here talking about, looking at all these and being like, yeah, it's probably nothing. Like, it's coming to the day.
On a base level, that's where I believe that. On a base level, the Earth that we've inhabited is spectacular. It's magnificent. Like, there's so many things about it that's so perfectly created that I believe in the Creator. Mm-hmm. I believe in God, right? Like, but then you take this class and you're like, we are this far away from everything. It's like, come on now. Like,
it gives you questions you probably haven't really thought about or even pondered before you look at something like, especially with the science. You feel, and for science, we just take it for facts. So like, there's ways to check it, but like, you can only check it so much before you're just like, I'm going to take somebody's word and let them do all the hard work. Because at the end of the day, I feel like philosophy or religion and science, we're just going to have to take somebody's word on it, because we can only do fact checks so much before we're just like, all right, that's not real. Cap, bullshit. I don't believe that. Because at this point, it's just, unless we see it and experience it, it's hard to kind of really say.
Yeah. One more. And you talk about see and experience it. Yeah. It's just like the most random thing. Like, I'm literally coming back from an injury. I'm in the G League. And then out of nowhere, they're like, hey, you're playing in this Intercontinental Cup in Egypt.
Wow.
And so we went and saw the pyramids. And I'm like, okay, let me do some research on the pyramids. And I'm trying to, like, I'm in the airport 2 hours before my flight. And I'm like, I haven't even scratched the surface. You're telling me these pyramids have been there for however many long years, centuries, and no one knows?
Nobody knows.
So, I mean, this is on our Earth, right? Like, we're talking about things that are way out there. We got something right here. We have plenty of things right here.
The ocean. I mean, just look at the ocean. I mean, you can go.
Oh, that's where it's just like, man, like, what's going on here?
But like you said, I think the biggest thing is just having an open mind. I think what irritates me about everything is like, yes, we have our faith, we have our certain views, but like if you're just not open to even discussing or even having the discussion, that's what irritates me. Because I'm like, you can't be definitive on it. Like that's like you can't just be like, nope, that's not it. I think that's what scares people about aliens. It's like we just don't want to accept that fact because then
and people just
we're gonna be messed up.
And I get it. People don't want their day-to-day life interrupted with, I'm guessing, aliens or whatever type of damage or whatever type of threat they're causing. But I don't know, man. It's people that are not open-minded to this stuff also scare me. So
I hear you.
I got one last question before we go. So yeah, going to Princeton, being a prestigious college. Any of your classmates, since we're talking government or moved on to politics, any of your classmates have gone on to do anything? I know it's only been a couple years, but any of them gone on to do anything crazy yet? Or are you the highlight of that year's class at Princeton?
I can guarantee you I'm not the highlight. I mean, in this sphere, like I think, what I've done is historic. I mean, there was a guy that played, I think, 15 games in the league back in 2002. He's a 7-footer. Like that's what the league was. But before that, guys that have played multiple years, like 1974.
Ooh, wow.
Like, I think what I'm doing is amazing. But I'm sure there's people out here. And when I get back to campus, I'm gonna be, what are you doing? What are you up to? You know?
Oh, absolutely.
There's gonna be
where the networking comes.
They're doing some cool things. But I think a kid in the class below me, he ended up becoming the first Black valedictorian in the Princeton history. He's doing some cool engineering, coding, things that are probably going to make a real impact. But some of my buddies literally are into crypto and creating like a crypto economy in Ecuador. And we're working on a Run Your Own Race NFT project, that will be done and really, really have some good marketing behind it by the end of the year. So, I mean, they just made a NFT project that I think sold like $500K worth of NFTs. So it's just dope. I mean, there's probably hundreds of people doing super dope things. Probably
any famous families, like their lineage, anybody that you would know of that you ran into at Princeton, you're like, damn, that's your godparents? Or,
I think, listen, it's because like this was in my friend group, was Michelle Obama's niece. So Barack's niece.
Yeah.
She played basketball. She was drafted in the W. Her dad, Craig, was a 2-time Ivy League Player of the Year, and that's Michelle's.
Oh, you're talking about Craig Robinson?
Yeah.
Coach Oregon State. Oregon State. He recruited both of us.
Yeah,
Oregon State.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So that's
Michelle's.
Small world. Well, how about you plug what you got going in social medias, podcasts, all that, so where they can find it?
At Devin_Cannady 3 across all socials. Check out my YouTube series, Run Your Own Race. I kind of gave a behind the scenes look at the first part of my comeback to the NBA, where I was going through my rehab process, and then just stay tuned for the Run Your Own Race podcast. Hopefully we see this guy T. Ross on there here soon.
Yes, sir. I'll be on there.
Well, man, we appreciate this, and we'll definitely have to do this again in the future.
For sure, man. Appreciate you guys.
Good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome to the show, what a wonderful delight. Patsy and T-Ross better chop up on the mic. Just sit back, have a laugh, catch a vibe, and enjoy the ride.